Hello, everybody, and welcome to 3 Years AMA. I'm happy to have you here. Anita Mlakar is my name. I'm the host of this AMA. We are here, of course, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central European Time. First, let me invite you right now to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not subscribed yet. You can also recommend us to someone else, of course. And please be a part and like our channels. We are on Discord, on Telegram, and on Twitter. And this is very, very necessary if you want to be a part of today's game. Namely, we will give away 3 times 100 USD. Yes, you heard it right. And of course, we have this wish, or maybe it's a demand, that you are actually a part of our channels, and of course that you are also here at YouTube live right now, and you will be a part of this game that we will play a little later. But first, we are always starting with a short introduction of our project of 3Air before we invite Sandi Bitenc, the CEO of 3Air. So what we are trying to do, and I'm sure you've heard of it, is connect the unconnected and bank the unbanked. And we are connecting people to internet, African people. And if you are unconnected, you are, let's say, underpowered. Majority of unbanked is also unconnected, and we need to give them this internet connection. We are doing that with 2 technologies that we have. One is K3 1 mile solution and our 3Air internet that we are working on right now. And once you are connected to the internet, you get a digital identity from us where you can store everything. It's actual provable record. If you, for example, want to apply, let's say, for a job, or you want to get a loan, and this will be a proof of what you have done so far, and you can verify everything very easily. And of course, you can identify yourself with it. We also create your digital bank account. We are giving you a wallet. It could be custodial or non-custodial. And all this time, we are educating you. We're educating all the people. And that is the real empowerment. The next step is providing financial services. We have fiat onboarding and offboarding ramp and peer-to-peer cash crypto onboarding. DeFi, we are working on microloans and yield farming. And we also have outside partners that will provide additional digital revenue streams. Once we put you through all these steps, you are connected, banked, and empowered. So you have financial tools, you have revenue streams, and you have the knowledge. This is what 3Air is doing. Let me invite the CEO of 3Air, Sandi Bitenc. Hello, Sandi, and welcome.
Hello, Anita.
Hey.
Hello, 3R fam.
How are you today, Sandi?
I'm okay. Everything's fine till now. Now I'm a bit stressed because we're still waiting for Matt, just so you know. But I heard that he's apparently trying to connect. So hopefully he manages it because it's
Yes.
going to be an amazing show if he's on. He is really a smart cookie.
Yes, and he's not unconnected, right?
Apparently, right now he is.
Of course, we will wait for him because he will give us some additional information about what he's doing. This will be very interesting. Sandy, what are we doing right now? What is happening at 3Air?
Well, right now we are in hibernation mode.
This is good also, you know?
Hibernation is good. Well,
Yeah.
it's the market. It's not doing anything good, and I hope that Matt will, when he later joins, will give us a bit of his insight on this because he has a lot of insights on the current market situation. But we we have talked internally. We have talked with our advisors. We have talked with launchpads and exchanges, and in the end, we even spoke with you with community a bit, and everyone just agrees that right now it is not the right time to launch a token. So, but hopefully things start turning, and then yeah, we should be ready in a really short time. everything is set, and I'm just repeating myself. Everything is really set to launch the token. It's just we need to now wait for a bit of a market uptrend. Hopefully, this comes pretty soon.
Yes, I'm sure that Matt will also tell us a little bit about the market and what is going on right now. And of course, tell us about the decision of 3 year for waiting. I think it is really not only you, but also people who are with us. Our community says, like you said, it is the best thing to wait and then use the right time to launch it, right? We have a lot of people today with us, Sandy. They're all
Yeah,
saying, hello, hello.
absolutely. It's interesting. It's quite lively today. I'm really interested where everybody is from. So if you can write it in the
Yeah.
chat a bit where you're from, that would be nice.
Because it's very important to be active today, to actually write in a chat because we will go through comments when we will give away some rewards later, right, Sandy?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. We will.
We said that.
Um,
Mhm.
Yeah, so just maybe to go a bit on what else is happening in 3 years. So it's not that it's that we're not doing anything, right? So we're still doing our marketing part. We are still looking for more partners. We are still looking for additional VCs to come on board, like the smart money that can help us then with all the connections. And yeah, right afterwards, so at 9 p.m. our time, I have a meeting here in person, one of these meetings. We are currently absolutely working 100% on app development. And you saw previous week we had the demonstration of our NFT platform.
Yeah.
So that one is going on also in the background, and we decided to revamp a bit our blog page. So currently the blog page it actually looks the same as the docs page. We just put it on the same system, but now that it's getting filled with additional content, it may be it isn't so easy to navigate anymore. So we are doing it a bit differently, and we'll be probably coming up with a redesigned revamped version Monday, I think. Monday, maybe even before that, maybe even on Friday. So it's very far along. So yeah, this is kind of, but it is, I can tell you, it is a bit more on the easy side than it was a month or two ago. So I can breathe a bit and maybe do some workouts in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it is amazing. Also, Dubai here, it's getting a bit more quiet. People are starting to go away for the summer. It's just too hot over the summer here. So it's also less people here. It's less events and everything. So from that part is it's a bit more easygoing, let's say. We also are right now testing a somebody who a 3D designer. So we are onboarding a new 3D designer. Let's see. We think we found one that's has it looks like has a lot of potential, but let's see. It's gonna take a
Wow.
few weeks before he comes with some new stuff. So this is
Okay.
kind of what's been going on, let's say, in the previous week.
Okay. Let's see where our people are from. Greetings from the lovely Niche.
Niche.
Then we have
Nice.
Jimmy from Nigeria.
Okay.
What else? Let's see. Oh yeah, there are already some comments also. Uh, I hope this project is successful and able to compete in the global market way to the moon. Yeah. There's a private question for you, Sandy. Let's see. Why have I never seen you in 3 air outfit, t-shirt or sweatshirt? before?
Yeah, well, because we don't have a 3-year outfit yet. Um, we are still we are thinking about doing some outfits together with the NFTs. But yeah, this is something that we didn't do very well, let's say. So we wanted to do some apparel in the past, but then started changing a bit our corporate identity and the colors and everything. So it's actually good that we didn't go through it because we would now need to change it. And we are looking into finalizing now everything, and then yeah, we need to do some t-shirts. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's time,
It's just, yeah, it's everything. Something has come in between, and then we just don't do it. But right now we don't have exactly, we could do something with a logo, but I would like to really have some cool t-shirts, like something special.
Sandy, let's look at these comments a little bit because I see that you are really commenting a lot today, and it's nice. This is a fantastic project with great potential. The team's dedication and ingenuity with excellent fan support will make this the envy of the crypto world. I'm so glad to be a part of this, is saying Asif.
Well, thank you. That sounds good. Yeah, I fully agree. It will, because we do have something special going on, and our community kind of feels it already,
Mhm.
and everyone else, yeah, they'll fall, they'll see it really pretty soon.
Here's another question. How reliable and secure is your smart contract? Have you tested it through any of the parties?
So we did an audit on it. So first of all, what we did is we have a standardized contract, so not many things have changed. We just added actually one line to it that helps us with some security stuff and some bot prevention stuff. So this is what we added. Everything else is actually what's been, the gold standard of usage. Today you usually don't go and just create some new form of token. Things need to be standardized. Now there can be some additional functions to it, but as we are not building directly on Binance Smart Chain, just issuing the token for the liquidity, there is really no special need for any additional functions on BSC. So it's just going to be what we've done is we went to Open Zeppelin. They have the audited contracts there, and we just took those audited open source contracts and added them to our token contract, and then even if everything was already audited and like proven with time, we still did another audit just because of that one line. Yeah.
Sandy, here is I really like your activity today, by the way. Really a lot of comments, a lot of questions. So thank you for that. There's a question. How do you see the future of Web3 and taking this more further? Which segment will have huge demand in future, metaverse or Web3?
Just can you get? I just missed it. I saw something from Matthew.
Yeah, I heard something too. Yeah, I think he's trying to connect to us.
Yeah, I think kind of. Let's see. Somebody went looking for him right now. Okay. Oh, we spoke a lot about Web3 already, right?
Yeah.
Look, the metaverse, yeah, the metaverses and Web3, look, it has a lot of potential for sure. I think Web3 is a really, really cool thing, because what it actually does is it gives you the ability to take I don't know, possession of your own data, of
Yeah.
funds. It gives you a lot more power. Just for instance, all the biggest platforms right now that are out, like Facebook, for instance, they actually own all of your data, and they make money on that one, on that. So, and they make huge amounts of money. If we can shift this just a little bit towards the content creators that are actually us, right? So we could then become the actually, you know, part owners of and earn some revenue on the content that we are producing. So this is kind of the thing that I see it most valuable. Um, but it is going to come down that probably everything that we actually do is going to be kind of, valued in some coin or token, and so on. Can also be a bit of a burden. It's for sure is going to be a switch in mentality, a big one, and that doesn't come fast. This usually takes quite a lot of time. So it is, we need to understand that we are starting right now with it, and it's a huge change. It's a huge shift, and that makes it also, let's say, a bit risky in that sense. We don't know if it's going to get adoption. Well, we don't know. I firmly believe it will, but let's see. It's still a big experiment or something like that. Let's say it like this. But the idea behind this is brilliant, and all the value that it can create, it's enormous.
I was actually in a 3-day conference right now, and there was some experts talking also about metaverse. And there was one, and she said, there is no need to rush into metaverse. Just wait, and this is something that will eventually happen. And yeah, but of course, it is the future. I think this is something that's here already. Do we have the answer to that already, Sandy? What is the floor price of NFT?
No, we didn't decide the floor prices yet. We need to. It's gonna depend. No, not all of the NFTs will have the same floor price. It's gonna come down to the artist. So we'll keep. We'll let the artist decide what their floor price for each of the NFTs wants to be. And it'll also depend if we add our own value to it, so our own connectivity solutions. So this is also something that will raise the floor price because if there is a real world application to it, so a real world service connected to it, that is going to be performed, when you hold this NFT, then it's like paying up front, let's say, for the internet. So this will for sure raise the floor price quite a bit. And but let's see. So that's not a big thing to decide in the end. And as I said, I would just then let the artists decide for themselves, because we are not there to make profits off of the NFTs. We are here just, to give you an opportunity to get something really cool. And on the other side, we want to give the artists, and we'll select artists from around Africa and support them a bit with giving them as much back as possible. Actually, not taking anything away.
Okay. Sandy, I think we have some new members or some people who are maybe with us for the first time. Maybe we should answer the questions for them too. This is one of them, just to explain. Ambassadors and sponsors have their own power to make famous the project, of course. So have you entered this stage? Do you already have ambassadors and sponsors?
Yeah, we have quite a lot of ambassadors already, but we're still looking for some ambassadors that would maybe take over some different languages, and help us build a community in different languages. And if you want to apply for an ambassador, I think the best way is just to go to our Discord channel, and you have there a special channel where you can, it says, I think, apply for ambassador or something like that, so you can always apply there, and then the team will take over.
Hmm? Here's another question. There's a lot of cases where DeFi is getting hacked or liquidity provided getting stolen, and these cases scare the users. Which preventions do you take in order to protect the platform against cyber attacks?
Yeah, so we are, first of all, we are auditing oral smart contracts. That's, I think, the best way. Like, we have already before that. So first of all, it starts with really, really good developers, and we do have really good developers on board. We have some experts in security. We have some white hack certified developers on board, and it also comes down to teamwork. So each team member also checks a bit on the other one, what he's doing, or they collaborate a bit in between them. So when there's something that might be an issue, it's always discussed, and once it's ready, then we are giving it to the auditors, and the auditors then need to come and also tell us, maybe this is a potential risk, and so on. So this is how we are taking on this risk.
There are really some good questions coming in. How can the children in Africa be brought to the Learn to Earn feature? How are you planning to reach this target group? Partnerships with local schools? Yes, right, Sandy?
Yeah, so first thing that we have is we will have a service that a lot of people want to use. So Africa currently lacks broadband. There's less than 1% broadband penetration. So there'll be a lot of people that will be onboarding, and we are already onboarding in Sierra Leone on the internet. And once they're on the internet, so once they come to us and we are connecting them, we can then educate them on all those stuffs. So this is just one-on-one conversations and education that we have. And the other stuff is, of course, we talked a lot about schools, and we are also so we mapped out already quite a few schools that we currently have on under our coverage in Sierra Leone, but we're also working on some additional projects in Nigeria and in Ethiopia that's all about connecting students and schools on the internet. So of course there's huge user bases there, but we are also partnering up with some projects that do education, that do workshops, that do startups and this stuff. So this is also, so we do want to do a lot of workshops there in Africa. So with education, then there also comes, I think, the users to it.
Okay. There are really, really a lot of interesting questions. If we won't have the chance to answer them today, please do write them down in our channels. Telegram is usually the right place where you can get all the answers. And we will, of course, try maybe to answer some of them later. But now I think, Sandy, that we have Matt Dixon join us. So let's invite him on the stage, if I should say so. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Anita. Thank you. And my apologies. I actually got the time wrong. When I saw 1900, I took it as 9 o'clock. So apologies for that. And I've actually just got back from a run. So you'll see me wiping the sweat with a towel now and then. So still, it's a pleasure to be with you. I've not been in on this conversation so far, but when I first heard Sandy speak about his project at Almas Tower at DMCC Crypto Center, I was blown away by the ESG contents, just the sincerity and the amazing value it adds to the whole ecosystem. So I love the project, and it's just a pleasure to be involved. So thank you for having me.
Well, thanks. I can say the same to you. Actually, yeah, we met at the crypto center here in DMCC in Dubai, and you actually had your talk before me, and that one was also something that really intrigued me. So a great job that you're doing, but I'm sure you'll tell all our community a bit more about it.
Yes.
Yeah, certainly.
Really
Yes.
looking forward to that. Just Matthew, to explain, you are a founder and CEO of Evai Crypto, and you will introduce us, of course, to what you are doing. I read something about it. It's actually a cryptocurrency rating platform powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning, and I'm sure you will tell us more about it, right?
Yeah, thank you, Anita. I've actually been a trader most of my life. Back in 2008, I actually did a talk in Jordan about the financial crisis, the impending financial crisis at the time, and everything worked out exactly as expected. And that was really looking at the macroeconomics, but also the state of the rating system. And so I was inspired at the time to look into the shortfalls of the rating system. And clearly, everyone's watched The Big Short and seen that there was bias there because they were paid by the companies and institutions that they rated. And so that caused a misallocation of capital. So a little bit later on, I actually ran an algorithmic trading fund in London in traditional assets. But my wife pushed me to do a master's degree at Brighton University. And whilst there, I met with a professor, Andros Gregorio, and actually a number of the other professors there. And we got to looking at the reasons behind the financial crisis of 2008. And basically concluded it was obviously a bias of the ratings agencies. And so I decided at that time, I was inspired to put together a group of a foundation of researchers there to build an unbiased rating system. So what we did, we basically looked at all the academic research over the past 50 or 60 years from Nobel Prize winners and all of the research literature of the time. And we combined that with the latest in artificial intelligence and machine learning to build an unbiased automated rating system that's focused at the moment on cryptocurrency, but actually has the potential to be rolled out to all liquid asset classes. So that was really the inspiration and what got us started. And we started back in 2019, and we've been growing ever since. Obviously, there's been tremendous challenges and hurdles we've encountered, but they've made us stronger, they've helped us to develop, and we're continuing to evolve. And what we have now is a very powerful rating system that does have predictive ability and can be applied to the assets, the crypto assets that we have today, to great effect.
That's just amazing to hear, because this is what you said, something that is without human intervention. And I was wondering, was it difficult to enter the market with this idea?
Well, it's certainly a challenge to put it together because there's so much data out there, and you've got the challenge of identifying what is reliable data and what isn't reliable data. So we've actually picked up the challenge and we've developed some AI techniques which are groundbreaking, our own IP really, where we've not just taking off-the-shelf artificial intelligence, but actually combining techniques and building our own bespoke techniques to deal with the particular type of data that's out there. And then also obviously identifying all of the factors that pertain to pricing and the asset pricing, and seeing which ones, how we can measure those. And there are many different ways to measure each. So, for example, you might look at, the risk of a particular asset, and there are many different ways to measure risk. And that's where the artificial intelligence and machine learning come in to identify from all these different data sources, to actually process all of that data and to identify the right mix of data and the right sources of data to come up with the best and most predictive ratings. And as I say, it has proved to be predictive, and it's certainly helped in today's volatile market.
So you are evaluating cryptocurrencies, you're evaluating tokens. What does that sort of evaluation means to the owners of this, let's say, crypto, to the companies?
Well, there are many different manifestations of the ratings that we're developing. So we're looking at a classification model which looks at long-term underlying value. The model we have at the moment is a model that looks at, it's more of a sort of trading model, and it has fairly regular upgrades and downgrades, but it is predictive. So, with a lot of the moves, I mean, just for example, it's one in the news at the moment, Luna. If you'd followed the Evai ratings on Luna, you'd have seen as it was upgraded at one point. I think it was back in November time. There was an upgrade there, and we got 143% gain on the token from then until the peak in the market. But even when it was downgraded, So if you bought on the upgrade and sold on the downgrade, you'd have still made round about 100% profit on the token, and you'd obviously been out before the big fall. When I say obviously, it was downgraded before the fall happened, and we've seen this over and over again. We saw it with Dogecoin. We've seen it with, again, if anyone who follows the ratings, they'll see that they're genuinely quite predictive. So the way we use it is when there's been a substantial upgrade in a token rating, then it's a signal to buy the token. And conversely, when there's a downgrade, it's a signal to sell. And so what we're doing now, we're building use cases off the back of that. So we're actually rolling out very soon an AI fund, which is going to be informed by the ratings and will help people, well, basically people can invest into the fund. And the utility for Evai will be that the size of the holding you have in Evai will determine the amount of profit share you take from the fund. So obviously the larger the Evai holding, the larger the percentage of profit that the fund makes. And so obviously it will depend on the actual profit of the fund, but we're hoping for this fund to be both a long and short fund so that we can profit not only in up markets, but the ratings are powerful in both up and down markets. So hopefully we'll be able to make profits whether up or down in the market. But there'll be various manifestations of the fund and people can choose what they want, their own risk profile, etc. So that's just one utility of the token, but there are many others. And we're very excited about the future and the evolution of Evai going forward.
Before we just say something more about the market and what is going on right now, could you tell us, Matthew, who is the team behind you?
Well, we've got, so I think I mentioned Professor Andros Gregorio. He's our head researcher, chief research officer. He was the youngest professor, I understand, in the UK ever. He's published over 125 peer-reviewed academic papers. He has advised the Bank of England and many of the regulatory authorities and bodies and institutions. So he's very, very well recognized, and he's an expert in liquidity and risk. So he was an ideal person to head up the research team in the UK. We actually have a total team at the moment of 24 people. So we've got other amazing researchers, Marcella Taffa, who is just an amazing has amazing capability and work ethic, and she's a real power behind the ratings. We have Dr. Rob Haywood, who has had 15 years with Bank of America as the head UK strategist, and so obviously a lot of practical experience, but he also works with Brighton University. We partnered with Brighton University and also with Peking University in China, which is, I think, number 16 in the world now. We also sponsor PhDs to work on the ratings. So we have a really solid foundation of research, and that's really the power behind the ratings is the research. But also we've got a great development team, and we're looking to grow and continue to grow and evolve, and certainly grow both the research and the development team. And we're just now at a stage, and it's really great to be partnering with Sandi, with not only on his project, but we're really thankful for the help and support that he's giving us, because we're at the stage now where we really need this to be rolled out for everybody to know about it. We think this is going to be a big positive for everybody to understand better where the markets are, where the markets are going, because there's too much hype out there, I believe. And everybody's been talking about mooning and the constant, what I call perma bulls. They're always thinking the market's going up. But it's important, I believe, to understand that cryptocurrency is another risk asset, and it has to be treated this way. Sorry, someone was saying? Okay, it may have been just some feedback, but basically I was just saying that cryptocurrency is just another risk asset in my mind. And it's really the academic roots that we have from the university, from my learnings at university. I studied, my dissertation was all about the efficient market hypothesis and trying to understand what moves markets and what doesn't move markets. And so these were key to the development of the ratings. But I think there's a lot more development and work to be done. And I think this is something that touches every different cryptocurrency in the world, because we do need to understand what moves markets. And that's what Evai is about, giving people a better understanding, creating a level playing field, removing bias, and informing and educating people. Not only the traders, the buyers, the sellers, but also the cryptocurrencies and the businesses themselves, to actually ascertain weaknesses they might have in a business, that the ratings can be used to identify those potential weaknesses and actually look to improve. So I love a business like Sandi's business, a business that helps everybody at every level, and I don't see any downside to what we're doing.
You have already touched a little bit 3Air and Sandi and what we are doing here according to market and what is happening right now. So would you say that the decision, 3Air's decision not to launch token right now is the right one? What do you think of it?
It's a really difficult one. Obviously, I personally believe that whatever decision you made is the right decision. If that, I generally trust you guys. For me, I do think that the market is going to bounce back at some point. I think we will have more downside. So I think probably, looking at it slightly longer term, it's probably good to delay the launch and wait for the markets to settle a little bit, because I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the markets, what with interest rates rising everywhere, with inflation rising everywhere, with growth depressing, then, and the fact, as I just said, that the crypto market is a risk asset related to all these macroeconomic factors, then waiting for the market to settle is probably a very wise move. And if you get in, if you do launch at the right time, it's going to be much more positive for the actual price action of the token itself and for the business as a whole. So, yeah, in brief, I think it's probably a very good move to delay a little bit. We actually went out with our token a little while ago. Maybe we should have waited longer. We're all doing the best that we can, and I think that we're making the best decisions that we can in the circumstances.
Matthew, when 3Air's token gets out, will you be rating it?
Certainly, we'd be happy to. We don't just choose to rate tokens. It will depend on the data that's available, but I know that there's a big community behind 3Air already. I know there's a massive appetite for it and much excitement in Dubai. We talk about it. It's talked about in the crypto center. So I've no doubt there will very quickly be data available, and we can only rate tokens where there's enough data available. If there isn't, we rate them as U. I think we've actually taken U's off the site at the moment. And it's just the artificial intelligence and the data gathering machinery. If there's data available, then it will automatically be rated. We don't choose, because there's actually no human intervention. I can't say, Sandi, we're going to rate your token. But I will say I'm confident that we will, because I know there's a lot of excitement behind it, and there will certainly be data available. So I'm sure it will be rated, and I've no doubt it. I say I've no doubt. We'll see, but I'm sure it's going to be rated well.
So tell me, it's just, the system actually detects a new token by itself. You don't need even to say there is a new token out, just, look into it.
Yeah, it does actually, because from the data that's gathered, it can actually pick up. So everything is totally automated. So we wanted to make sure there is no potential for bias whatsoever. So from the data that's gathered, and this is the beauty of artificial intelligence, that you've got the data that's coming in, and as long as you build the right system, it can automatically add tokens and remove tokens as well. The removal of tokens is actually something we're working on, because we found we only thought about adding them. We didn't think about removing them. So Luna obviously brought that to mind. But yeah, it is a system that's constantly evolving and improving. It's a great system already, and it will continue to improve, because we will always be searching for new factors, and the system will search for new factors, and factors that have predictive capability and can be added. We're going to be adding a lot more in terms of on-chain metrics. So at the moment, we're gathering data from many, many different sources, but on-chain metrics have a big impact in terms of the distribution of token holders, the size of token holders, the whales in the whale holders. All these kind of things have a big impact, which we haven't really fully taken into account as yet, but I think they will actually be value added to the system that we have.
So there is no way I can persuade you to just give us a AAA rating.
Well, you can try. You can certainly try. No, but unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's fortunate because
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that was genuinely, it almost crashed the whole financial world, and it's only this crazy QE system that, when I say bailed the system out, I don't believe it even bailed the system out. It's a sticking plaster that's still not, the system hasn't been cured as yet. and now they're trying to withdraw QE. And we're seeing that the QE didn't create any real growth. It inflated assets, which as cryptocurrency was one of those assets, property, equity, all these assets were inflated by the money that was created from QE. Now they've been trying to withdraw QE. COVID obviously caused a contraction as well, but that may have been just. I think the big issue is that so much money was created. If you look at a chart of the amount of debt created, that had to cause a problem at some point in time and had to slow down. And the moment they slow it down, it's going to affect growth. So they're in a catch-22 situation now. So whilst we will see crypto assets along with all other assets, I think, correct even lower, I think that there may be a divergence in the future where we'll see crypto assets take off because they're limited supply. For many of the crypto assets have limited supply, whereas fiat obviously has theoretically infinite supply. And so long term, I think those cryptos that have real use case and have limited supply will really start to shine through, and you'll see a divergence of value there. And that's where we'll see in the future where crypto asset prices will eventually rise, whereas I don't think, I think we're going to see the end of fiat eventually, and that's why we're going to move over to digital assets.
You've spoken now a bit on the current market situation and everything. Do you have any timelines where you see stuff happening? Like, just what do you think?
I'm a real my personal passion with charting is I use Elliott wave analysis. Elliott wave analysis doesn't really give you timing, but I do know whereabouts we are in that cycle. From the top in Bitcoin and in actually virtually all of the assets, because they all tend to follow Bitcoin, Ethereum, we've had what's called a triple correction downwards, which is a WXY correction. And we're getting towards the end of that correction. So if you think of Bitcoin at 68,000 or whatever it was, from there we've had, if you can picture it, an ABC down, which is a W wave, a small ABC up, which is an X wave. And then the final Y wave is also going to be made up of an ABC down. We've completed the A wave down. We're working currently on a B wave, which is a kind of sideways kind of wave. So we're seeing a little bit of sideways. We're going to see a bit of consolidation in the market for a short period of time before we see a final Y wave, the C wave of the Y wave down. So this means that although I can't give a time using Elliott wave, we're getting towards the end of the correction. So it has dragged out quite a long time. If you think, when was the peak? Was it back in November from memory? I can't remember exactly when the peak was now. Yeah. So if you think where we are now, we're 6 months on from that. So we've actually completed a large part of the correction down. The markets tend to be forward-looking. So whilst there may be still the worst to come in terms of the economic metrics out there, I think that before we even see the worst of the econometrics, we will see a turnaround in the asset pricing. And so I think most probably towards the latter part of this year, I think we're going to see a rally. So we've got more downside to come, unfortunately. But after that, we'll see a concerted rally. And I think we're going to at least rally to the previous all-time highs and possibly even move beyond that. So I do see comfortably moving to previous all-time highs as, in my mind, it's pretty much nailed on.
There is one question, but we have a lot of questions. I really see that there are really a lot of questions in the comments, but here is maybe just one that I picked. Are you planning to add human rating feature too, and then adding Evai rating and human rating and give total ratings? It's a question from Tajas.
Okay. When you say give human rating, we don't plan to put any human aspect into ratings at all. There is always the potential for bias when you've the way I see it, the centralization always brings problems. So if you think about even historically throughout the history of the world, every time you see centralization of power, you see abuse of that centralization. That's due to bias, obviously self-interest, whether it be in government, nations, institutions, whatever it might be. When you see centralization, you tend to see usually there's certainly at least potential for bias there. So if we start to bring human ratings in, there are agencies that rate on a human basis. But if you think about it, there's currently around about 18,000 crypto assets out there. Now, if you had a panel of human beings trying to rate 18,000 assets and give those ratings on real time, or pretty much real time, it's genuinely not possible for a panel to sit there and discuss 18,000 crypto assets and give real time ratings. So I always like to sort of equate this to the power of artificial intelligence, how it's grown over the years. So I equate it to the first artificial intelligence computers, which actually started back in the 50s, I think. And it was about 1997, I think, Deep Blue was the artificial intelligence computer that first beat Garry Kasparov, the world chess champion, and was the first computer machine to beat a human being. And since that, obviously, 1997, we've had 25 years worth of improvements in computing power, improvement in AI techniques and development of those AI techniques. So it's got more and more powerful. So now when you focus artificial intelligence on a particular problem like this, and the power of gathering all of that data and utilizing all of that data to come out with ratings, it far outpowers the possibility that any human mind or even a group of human minds can manage. And so the future is definitely in artificial intelligence. And so I don't really see any value whatsoever in bringing potential bias from human input. So sorry about the long answer.
Thank you very much. Sandi, do you have any more questions? I mean, we have a lot of questions, but...
So what I was, I don't know if you told us, but how many factors are you currently taking into consideration when you rate a token?
The parameters.
We currently take into account 9 factors. We're looking to grow more factors. So you can actually see on our website, which is evai.io, you'll be able to see all of the factors there. So you've got risk, you've got liquidity, you've got sentiment, et cetera, et cetera. There's 9 different factors. And each of those factors, so for example, if you did look at risk alone, you'll see there's many different ways to measure risk. No one measurement is the right way to measure risk. They all have their own particular contribution to make to the overall measurement and the overall contribution that risk makes to token evaluation. So, with those multiple indicators within each factor, you've got many different indicators and factors that all group together. And again, that's why you need an artificially intelligent machine to be able to manage all of that data, to evaluate the exact balance between all those different indicators and factors to give the best possible result. And it's continually evaluating that and continually improving and continually learning and getting better and better. And this is why, again, it's just that the power has been phenomenal in terms of being able to identify assets before the actual asset moves in price. So with Luna, with Doge, and we actually post on a website many of the upgrades and downgrades and the movements that have, and we actually show when the upgrade took place. And we're going to be introducing notifications very soon, so people can get have their own watch list of the tokens that they particularly like to trade, and they can then get notifications when it's upgraded, when it's downgraded, and they can trade accordingly, or they can just put it into our AI fund, and that again is going to be launched very soon. And the AI fund will automatically buy and sell according to the ratings. And again, as I say, the holding of Evai that you have will determine the actual profit share that you take. So that's just one of the utilities among others. And we've had a lot of institutions already approaching us, asking for us to share our API. And we'll think carefully about whether that's the right thing to do, or whether we should just keep it to our own AI fund.
Yeah, it's usually so. How it is, if everyone actually starts using the same method, it actually kind of loses its power, doesn't it?
It can lose its power. It can become sort of self-fulfilling in terms of if Evai upgrades a token and everybody buys the token because it's upgraded, then it could, even if it were a bad prediction, it could actually become self-fulfilling. And we saw that with the likes of Robinhood and the power of the crowd following people saying such and such a thing. So we would like to keep away from that. We don't want to actually influence the market in any way. So we're not going to be giving any information to anybody in advance. I think it'll be available as soon as it becomes available, and it'll be based purely on the factors that we use. And then I think that the power of the ratings is already showing itself without the power of the crowd. So I think we're not looking at self-fulfilling. I think we are looking at genuine predictive ability here.
So how can the end user actually best profit or use your app, Evai? And and this is one question, and the other one is, what are you looking for right now as a project?
Okay, we're at the stage now where we're just beginning to roll out the utilities for the token. So our focus for the past nearly 2-3 years, I think it's getting on, 3 years now, our focus has been purely on developing the ratings to a level where it does have predictive ability and it is useful to people in the marketplace. So we raised quite a lot of money from seed funding to get to where we are. We do want to continue the evolution of Evai. We're just about to roll out a subscription model, and also we're going to monetize through the AI fund. Now that will begin to raise funds, but we are at a stage now where we want to build it's a universal use case. It touches every token, so we think everybody in the world should know about Evai. So we want to promote Evai. We're just now beginning to get the marketing moving and to start to inform the whole world about what we're doing and try to just get word out there. We are looking to raise further funds, and so there's opportunity obviously through the tokenization, but also there's an equity side to the business. And the token itself will be, it is monetized through the tokenomics of the business, and there's a sales tax where every Evai holder actually, just by virtue of holding the token, they get a reflection back from any trading that takes place. And we're currently on PancakeSwap. We will be partnering with centralized exchanges because they actually have an interest in using our ratings, because it will help inform their users and their traders on the tokens to buy, the tokens to sell, and give better information there. So it might help inform their traders better, but also help improve trading activity. So there's good partnerships to be had there and monetization to be had there. But we're definitely we're at a stage where we want to just get the word out there, get the marketing moving, and we do need to raise further funds to continue the research and to offer the opportunity to everybody.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Now, before we close up this, we do have some. I would like to add some human aspect to it, but it considers you, Matthew, as such a successful man with such a business and so many things to do. As we saw earlier, you're taking care of your health also with, like you said, running and stuff like that. What do you do in life, to I don't know, to get to live healthier, to have some time for yourself, for the family, and how do you do that?
It's actually quite difficult, as anybody knows. This is still, even though I've been running 3 years, it is pretty much a startup business, and it takes over your life for the time being. So, yeah, when I get an opportunity, actually running is just a relaxation for me. Some people might see it as a strenuous activity. It's actually a relaxation where you can just empty your mind completely. So that's my relaxation. So I try to spend a bit of time with my wife at weekends, but it's really difficult at the moment. Yeah, I've got a great team, which I know they're already carrying a lot of the weight and the business, running the business. And as things progress further, hopefully I'll get a little bit more time, a little bit more balance in life. But it's a passion for me. And I know, same with Sandi, we actually love what we're doing, even though it does take over your life. And we have to it's a discipline to try to make time for family. We need to do more of that, certainly, and a bit of exercise. And in terms of eating healthily, we burn so much energy. My thing is I just eat as much chocolate as I possibly can. And that's what keeps me going.
Yes. When work is a
We
way
can
of
always
living,
share
right?
the chocolate.
Sorry?
We can always share the chocolate. You take the milk. No. You take the milk chocolate. I take the dark chocolate.
Oh, that's
no
fair
worries.
enough. I can do that.
I'm not taking any of yours.
That's fair enough.
If something, and then I'm not sharing a chocolate, right? Thank you very much, Matthew. Thank you for taking your time because I know that you don't have a lot of it, and you still decided to be with us and to explain what you're doing, also explain a little bit about the market, and I really appreciate that. So thank you again. I hope you will join us again.
I'd love to, and I would like to obviously say that please follow us on our Telegram, so the Evai Evolution Telegram. Please follow me personally on. We have an Evai Twitter, of course. My own personal Twitter, which is at MDTrade, has got quite a reasonable following. It's just grown very, very quickly recently because I talk a lot about the markets and where the markets are going. And actually, I've been, from the top of the market, I was saying that to everybody, we're expecting, I'm expecting a correction in markets, a substantial correction. And everybody was poo-pooing what I was saying this is rubbish. The market's going, Bitcoin's going to 100, 250,000, whatever. And people are coming back now saying, yeah, actually, you're right. And the thing is, it's actually followed the Elliott wave analysis, my Elliott wave analysis precisely. Not everybody's, because, some people may, but I think when you do your analysis correctly, and I've done this for so many years now, and when you tie it into the Fibonacci relationships that it has, and the golden ratio 0.618 and the 0.382 and so on, and you look at the relationship between the various waves, and when you have the experience to relate the various waves, so certain waves have particular Fibonacci retracements and so on, you could get a really accurate picture of the market. So I believe I've got a very clear picture of where the market has come from. I had a picture of where the market has gone to date, and I have a picture of where the market is going to go to and where the market will turn round. So I'll be following very closely, following the shorter time fractals to identify the turn in the market. So people who are following me hopefully will be able to benefit from that. And I genuinely love to share this. I don't charge anything for those services. In fact, we don't charge anything for the ratings. We will have to monetize at some point, but we'll always offer some of the ratings for free. So there'll be a benefit to everybody at all times for free. Some of the high level ratings, the pro levels, there will be a monetization there, because we've obviously got to pay the wages and continue to develop. But yeah, please follow me for free on at MD Trade. Follow us at Evai. Subscribe to the ratings, and we'll happily continue to collaborate with Sandi. We're going to invite Sandi onto our group. We're looking forward to interviewing him. And thank you so much for this evening. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and wishing you all the best.
Great insights. Great, really, really an amazing project. And you have one more task to do, and that's actually a nice one. So you need to pick one guy or girl that gets 100 BUSD from us, and then we'll also pick. I'll pick one, and Anita will pick one. So I don't know. Do you see the chat on the site?
I did, and I just saw one. Diane White just sprang out at me. No idea who Diane White is, but I just saw it flash by on there. So whoever that might be, did you see it?
Diane White. You see it on the screen now?
It's just flashed by. Actually, it's just gone off screen about 20.
No. Just look at the full screen. There is three hearts. The three hearts on the screen.
Diane White.
Not in the chat. Where you are actually. You see yourself?
Oh, Diane White. I see. Yes.
Yeah.
With the
this
three
one,
hearts.
right?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, Diane White, you get 100 BUSD from 3R from Matt.
Wow.
So congratulations. That's the first
congratulations,
one.
Diane.
Yeah. If you can just send us your Telegram handle in the chat, would be amazing. Else just contact us over email, and we'll identify you there, so that we don't give the prize to somebody who doesn't deserve it, who didn't win it. So yeah, the next one, you want to stay with us till we pick someone else?
Yeah, so you're going to pick one now, Sandi, or Anita?
Yeah, I'll pick one. I'll just do it like this, and I'll click something. Okay, let's see who comes up. Avadin. Avaid. What?
Avaden.
Avaden. Great feedback and congratulations. Oh,
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
are the
congratulations,
winner here.
Avaden.
Another 100 BUSD.
and now me, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick one because I was really going through the comments and engagement of everybody, and I really liked all the comments and the questions coming from Tejas or Tejas Patil, and this is to whom I'm giving the award.
lovely. Congrats, Tejas.
Tejas.
Taya.
Excellent.
Is it
All the
Taya?
winners, yeah, please contact us on the email that you find in YouTube on our YouTube channel, and yeah, the team will take it from there.
Amazing. Congratulations and thank you. It's been a real pleasure. And I look forward to having you back on our show.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you
Perfect.
very much, Matthew, and thank you for being with us. Thanks.
God bless you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So,
Bye.
Sandy, what we have to do right now is just wrap it up because
Yes,
we have
exactly.
given everything that we had and we had a nice conversation. Oh my God, it was really inspiring and full of information.
It was a really good show today. I really liked it.
Really. And so many
Yeah.
comments and so many engagement. Really, really. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, for all the questions. If you have any more, please do put them in our channels. Like I said at the beginning, please do like our channels, be a part of the channels, be a member of them on Discord, on Telegram, on Twitter. We are here every Wednesday on YouTube where you can follow us live and, of course, ask questions. And actually all the time. Sandy, also you are active and giving the answers, right?
Yes. I'm actually thinking about having once per week, maybe just after our AMA, another AMA just on Telegram. So I'll be present there for an hour, but not today. I need to really run on to a meeting right now. But let's say from next week on we can do it. So after the AMA on YouTube, we just go for an AMA on Telegram, and I'll be answering all the questions there.
Great, great. Staying connected. So that's it. Thank you very much, Sandy. Thank you for taking your time. Take care of yourself. And all of you, of course, who are with us today, have a great day, evening, whatever it is where you are. And we will be back next Wednesday. Bye.
Excellent. Yay. Bye
Bye.
bye.